Been a long time, folks, but we are back here with the Due Process League. My name is Saul. Also joined here today by Surfront up here in the casting booth by my side, and we've got a nice little lower league game of Eclipse versus Team Nice. I have been out of the circuit for quite some time, Surfront, but it's good to see you again. And can you maybe refresh me a bit on these two teams, perhaps today?
Hello, fellows. Hi, everyone. Okay. Well, today we're going to be seeing the matches of. Uh, Hold on. I had to pull it up real quick. We're going to be seeing Waste Potential and Kickflip, and we are not sponsored by Red Bull versus Space Rangers and Team Nice versus Eclipse. In the match we're going to be spectating today is Team Nice versus Eclipse, and they should be queuing up anytime soon. Let me pull up the current standings. Current standings is Mullis Munchers in first place, Lotus in second, in Kickflip in third, Wasted Potential for fourth, Eclipse in fifth. That's surprising. I thought Eclipse, but they did have a tough game last week, facing Lotus, and they fortunately lost that for a 7-2. But they were able to actually beat We Are Not, sponsored by Red Bull, in a 7-5, and then We Are Not sponsored by Red Bull in sixth, Space Rangers in seventh, Team Nice in eighth, and then Orange Grove in last place. So yeah,
Well, glad to see some stuff hasn't changed. That was a deciding factor last season from when I got to cast was Orange Grove not being the best over in the lower league. But it looks like Team Nice, like you mentioned, hasn't had all that much success either. So potentially they're looking to maybe spice up their actual standings and try to get a win in the books, or at the very least get a round win in the books. That'd be pretty nice as well. Still would be showing some kind of improvement and hopefully not going 21-0 in terms of negative standings.
hmm
But as for the side of Eclipse, at least they're doing relatively well, having one loss and one win in their scoreline. So something's better than nothing, I suppose. But yeah, we almost have the game fully underway. I believe we've got everything actually popped and ready, but
yeah, it is
I do
popped.
not have the don't have the spectate option. I think I have to go refresh my due process. There
All
it
right.
is. Yep.
And Team Nice is a newer team. They just came to due process this season. I believe they may have some background in Siege, but they did have a pickup today, and that will be Doodler, a face of many you know in the community. So yeah, so it's Eclipse versus Doodler and friends. So match is underway. So let's get into that.
Got to have funds in chat. One nice thing that I actually noticed from playing the game is that they have added in over little tabs on the left side that show the actual tile sets. So that
Yep.
could be something to help out newer teams if they're not fully capable of remembering everything that's happening during the actual match itself. But Killdome, first set up already, and I've actually had experience playing on this set in particular. It's pretty interesting what you can get away with, especially for wall charges too. One really fun trick is maybe sometimes going in for a wall charge like in the back of obs and going over some cheeky pushes like that. I've had that happen, but the one thing to worry about that is this little sightline, for example. But what immediately sticks out to you for this tile set in terms of placer front?
This ruins is really big choke point. The mob can get so many angles into base if you try to free this side. And this being a dome, most of the time you want to free on dome. And it looks like that's what we're going to see from Eclipse. But Eclipse, I believe CBC is IGLing for Eclipse. But Eclipse is going to see this and they're going to say, no, we're not going base. We know this is a really big choke point. One barb can pretty much, two barbs actually, can really stop our push here. This red door is a no-go. So they're going to kind of go through pit here. But what they're going to need to focus on is clearing observations. And they're probably going to have to try and take lights here with that being present, just only a few steps away, a few tiles away, if anything. And I don't think we're going to see any charges here because of it being C-Store next round. So they're going to want to use that wall charge and then a bank. And if you double charge on bank, it opens it up and makes it look like a really good round to take away. So that'll be underway here in this round. So it looks like Team Nice is putting down some great barbs. I'm assuming that might be Doodler with the experience saying we need to put barbs here. These are dynamic barbs. So yeah, no mop though from Team Nice.
Definitely seems a little bit strange to not even have it, even if you are expecting kind of a double negative where they end up wanting to go in through pit to kind of ignore those long angles you were talking about. One nice thing though about obs, especially if you're not going to have to worry about any breaches, is how easily you can play for contact near both that green door and also the open doorway from the top of obs. It could allow for a really nice crossfire, which kind of makes me a tad bit upset that Cade has already put down his barbed wire. It's going to be incredibly hard for him just to walk past this and try to get some pre-fire shots without someone also helping him from a pretty safe distance. So this might allow for a lot of early isolation, and that could most definitely get the offense the upper hand in terms of that man advantage. And off the rip, we've got people just hopping on in. King is by himself, and Cade tries to swing, but it's a little too late. And in the matter of moments, Surfront, we already have it to 5 versus 2, and a lot of map control. Off the bat, all these people in ruins can't do much because of that smoke, and it seems like because of this gigantic man advantage, the offense will just try to take their sweet time, already have those lights hit, and just slowly creep their way in the back of the bomb and probably just start baiting for that in a couple seconds.
Seeing it slow down and seeing some shots coming out from Doodler. Nice molly to help delay the attackers. Only Doodler and Ultra and upper, and Doodler playing bomb on the lower side. We got a 3-2 split here, two coming from ruins, and the outcome 3 attackers onto Doodler, and down goes Doodler, but Ultra's able to get to Razzie, and then Roby's gonna push up onto Ultra and take him down. A bunch of flashes go out, and yeah. That was a really nice pinch maneuver by Eclipse there at the end, just really showing the coordination there at the end onto Team Nice. A lot of well placed flashes as well. Wouldn't you say, fellows?
I would most certainly have to agree. I can't say though for Team Nice that their general positioning was all that helpful. Again, I briefly mentioned some of the bar placement. It wasn't top notch, but in general, just the ability to play for trades and be in a good position to win a gunfight in general just wasn't really there for Team Nice, and it allowed 3 immediate kills for Eclipse. And it's one thing to be in that 5v4. That's already a huge momentum game for the offense, but a 5v2, it's basically unwinnable, especially when you have a lot of those long-range sight lines completely denied via those smoke grenades. You only had Ingmars left, and there was just so much map control already in the pocket of the offense. They didn't really have all that much to worry about except just playing for that trade game, and they already have a bunch of great weapons in their stockpile as well. The big AK, the Ingmar, even a Gruber as well. I mean, getting those defender weapons for the attack is massive just because how much damage they can deal against those 1 HP defenders. So that's a really huge win off the bat for Eclipse, and thankfully we did not have that mop in stock for the defense because that could have been a huge powerhouse, especially going in for a shutter play.
Yeah, and onto the C-Store, Operation Helios, Anvil. We're seeing that wall charge here, and this wall charge I think is going to give them that really solid line of sight into Arcade and maybe a little bit behind Bomb, and they can probably, maybe, just maybe with a pixel peek see this Teller. Not too sure about that one, but this is going to be cutting the map in half. So, and they're going to be sending 3 green here. They're going to be taking Freezer and Arcade, and they're just going to have pretty much control right away of half the map. And this office doesn't really give you much. I mean, yes, if you have somebody there with a knack playing for wallbangs, it can be pretty rewarding. But other than that, and this Teller, yeah, the Teller hole gives you some, but that's just, you really can't play this storefront once it's blown. Especially, unless if you have somebody like Rat down here in the corner. It's just, this is going to be tough for, Team Nice to counter this. And it looks like Team Nice has not even seen this as a possibility. Maybe the green, definitely not the wall with all their barbs placements. Looks like they're judging on a bathroom play. But Med, look at Med. He's calling out from a run out with an auto here or something, which would be really interesting if somebody was to play that. But I don't think we'll see that here with Team Nice not being that experienced. And really, the only experienced player on that team right now is Doodler. And I don't think Doodler is going to have somebody do that play, judging how there is no auto being taken. So
Seems like just a lot of risks that you're not willing to take, especially when you have Bank, and sometimes the auto can be pretty powerful on a setup like Bank. Again, though, seems for the most part, because of the fact we have that Saber for Digi, we're going to opt to see that shutter play. I mean, it was a pretty heavily spotted out by the offense, but they might opt to try to go for something a little more unique as well. It looks like a door charge has been set in the back of bathroom, and maybe instead of having those shutters in play, might have a longer bit of sight lines being held across the map, perhaps. Storage door kicked, but just waiting on that final call, trying to bait out some mollies potentially since the barbed wire is there. Doodler's not too far away from that green door, but before going in for the molly toss-up, he'll try to wall bang via the knack, but that does give ample timing to allow Eclipse just to waltz into storage and already gain that immediate map control, but now they have to push outward because of this molly spam. Med having barely any room left, and no, eventually the molly reaches him. Med will fall. Doodler's there with the cleanup on a hero, and just like that, we've got the 5 versus 3, and now the rest of Eclipse, they've got to charge in. They isolate 2 quick kills to equalize, and now bring back the man advantage. Drazi and Roby just tag team to bring back this upset here for Eclipse, and now all they've got to do is just kind of take their time once again. They've got a minute to kill. The molly's been burned, but they just waltz right through it, giving only King the 1vx, and really not a lot besides this Teller kill hole to try to stop this defuse from being baited out by Eclipse at this point. He'll try his best, but Roby just swings him outright, wins the gunfight, and with plenty of time left to defuse, despite the 5 versus 3 deficit, it's still a clawback for Eclipse.
And they're going to pick up that clacker because it seems like they forgot the wall charge. So, no charge is needed. So, it looks like we're going to see a full all-explosive on bank this round.
Yeah.
We'll see how Eclipse is going to plan that out. But, yeah, they're just going to be picking up AKs, pretty much saving anything they want from the defender side. Doodler was a menace there on that green door with that molly and really swinging with that knack. But, yeah, but unfortunately, when Roby and Drazi just ran in with that really well-placed flash, they were able to take down 2, and also catch a Doodler on the rotate out of Freezer. And, yeah, they caught him right just before he got into cover in storefront. So, and then that was that 3v2. And then basically they were just able to clean it up and flash into Freezer and pull that man out while he was by himself. And then you saw it was down to King, who was in a 1v5. It could not play that Teller hole the way he wanted it to. So yeah, now we're on to this bank. This bank is really interesting because it has the button in accounting, and the way accounting is looking here, it's Doodler noting that they have the wall charge still available. So he's saying something like a door and a wall in accounting. I don't think we'll see that. I think we're more likely to see like a door charge here, and then probably a wall somewhere, or maybe like a wall into Teller, and then maybe use a door on like security or something. Ooh, but they are calling for a split push. Be interesting to see how Eclipse does this one.
Gotta admit, though, I am a pretty big fan of utilizing the vents, especially since there are a lot of cheeky angles you could probably go and just run in through, only expecting someone to come in through the double door, for example. So having the crossfires established is going to be a really strong suit for Eclipse, especially since we have still seen a genuine lack of properly timed team play by the side of Not Nice. So again, if we can just see that being manipulated quite well by the offense, I could imagine they would see a 3-0 split, if not just a very close call at that, despite the fact we have 2 power weapons available for the defense. I mean, the Saber's still available for Eclipse, and again, they have a lot of destruction here on this round because I guess they wanted to just save 3 charges for bank accidentally, so it might inadvertently work out. And even now during the prep phase part, and we actually seeing maybe this wall charge being implemented for just this long line of sight, which honestly I kind of adore. If you can just bait the defuse during that late round position and kind of force the hand of the defense actually to go swing out right, depending on the angle, you could have someone just sit with the Saber and manager and just play Overwatch for your actual attacker going in on that defuse. That's a pretty cool idea implemented by Eclipse. I really hope it works out for him.
Yeah, it's a really nice angle coming in there, and it looks like we're going to see a door charge for entrance and maybe a possible blow for loans. Really opens up to this side, and when this vault door opens, it's going to lock them down. But here we go. We see the entrance blow. She's going to be peeking that with the Saber, looking into accounting. He might catch King here. We got Roby and Med heading into Vent, and Drazi, maybe CBC as well. So 4-1 split here. Very interesting. Med's going to go down Viable, and Roby's going to trade out Viable, and then King's going to swing with the auto, but Roby's going to get King. And then Doodler's going to swing, and he's going to take out CBC. But here comes the wall charge. Drazi pushing in, no flash needed. He's going to be able to take out Caden. And just like that, it's a 3v2. Digi,
all right,
last,
just didn't. Okay, they just don't even need much of the util there. Had the cutoff established. Sorry for cutting you off, Sir Front, but all
No
right, that
worries.
just that happened. Not even needing to use the nade. Everyone's already dead, and that's how the round played out. Timing of those swings just didn't really seem all that right for the defensive side. I like trying to get aggressive, working those kills, especially when you know that they have to be dropping in for manager at some point, and that can make them quite vulnerable. But I feel like just waiting for them to extend outward and just try to play with the natural cover and accounting and wait for the Andy Flash could have been a better idea. But I guess also having to consider entrance as a possible attacking point too, that's very risky. So I think the thought process there for Not Nice was they just wanted to deal with the people in manager. Then they could put all their attention into everyone working in through the double door, and that could have made the hold for button much easier. But it just didn't come to fruition. And as I had suspected, it's going to be 3-0 for Eclipse, and once again, still having a strong amount of their player base alive and well at the end of that round too.
Yeah, they're gonna be saving economy, saving the saber and the clacker, and then they'll be escaping with an AK. But on to the next tile set. We're gonna see time to swap sides. 6 defense rounds for Eclipse, and will they be able to take? Well, I mean, if they uh if they win the next 4 rounds, I think that's it. I don't think I don't think we'll see all 6 rounds, but we'll see if Team Nice is able to get some coordination going and abuse their attack and movement speed. And get into this one. Yeah. I don't know if we'll see any crazy blows or like maybe they'll commit a lot here and try for this like door and wall out of jungle type, but I think we're just
Mm-hmm.
gonna see a simple green, go for lights, and then they'll just take it from there. Ooh, they might actually do that. That'll be I
That
actually
would be
really like
fun.
this plan because it's gonna give them a lot of fun and they need to get on the board here, you know? They have to do
Yep.
something. And it's 3-0 currently. And this map committing so committing so much utility, I really agree with. I think this will give them a really good chance. And honestly, it looks like they're not even really going to expect that from Eclipse. Eclipse's side looks like they're having the 2 bars play the Ruin side, and then maybe that one for Pit. And I mean, yeah, if you have somebody play jungle here, you can get a good angle. But anybody trapped in observation, if anyone's going to play observation, they are not going to make it. I'll say that, especially if they put 3 guys here, maybe 4 or something, whatever they're planning on doing. So, but they are seeing a lights play in a possibility. We're seeing some players coming out from Eclipse. So, but I don't believe they will see that wall charge, and mauling that off is going to be difficult.
Yeah,
So,
I've been in that position where I play behind the bomb and I molly this. I have completely missed that, and I just hit like the water where this flash is placed. Although that still gives you time to rotate and play to actually stop that jungle push down, it's still very challenging just to sit there unless you are being fed ones like I was during a scrim match. So it's a very risky thing to counter, especially if you're a very slow team to readjust and stop this direct ops take. And worst case scenario, or even I should go around the other way. Best case scenario is you win this round, you eco on C-Store, and you just forfeit that round basically, and then you still have a charge for bank. That might be the thought process here of the offense to, like you said earlier, just get a couple of round wins on the board. But there goes that immediate breach play we were just talking about, Surf Front, a smoke to stop these long lines of sight and deny the readjustment from being all that strong. But a beautiful molly is tossed by Drazi, finding 3 separate attackers, and this play has fell flat on its face, and there's nothing left for the offense to try to redeem themselves. Digi joins in on the fun, and it's just a 5-player crossfire to deal with King, the final remnants of that attack. And although things were looking good on paper, they just weren't able to move away from that molly, and it found too much damage to grant a 4th round win for Eclipse.
the one thing I'll say is about mauling in the water is you can't see the molly. It's just a little bit of the water just looks a little orange, and you're like, oh, pollution or something. So that's the one thing, and especially in all that heat of the moment with all the smoke going off and all the gunfire, you can't really. It's hard to notice such a little detail, especially for a team who's not as seasoned as Eclipse. Even though Eclipse is kind of a newer team, but they have a lot of players that have been around the DPL for I'd say a few months, and they have experience going. 1,000 matches helps too. So just hearing a little, oh, they blew wall, and I just throw them all over there. you know, um, But those are really well placed smokes. I feel like if they were if they needed to slow it down a little bit, get the door open first, then take lights, and then go for that wall charge. They did it a little too fast, and I feel like some of the players weren't ready. Um, they kind of just like, oh, we're doing it now, and then yeah, next thing you know, they're all on fire. So on to the C store here. I'm assuming they're gonna. I really like this freezer blow. This freezer blow gives you a lot control of storefront without even using a wall charge, just using a door, and then you just pinch green. I know. I'm pretty sure GB did this yesterday, or maybe they did a double blow. I might be mistaken. Maybe a double blow freezer or something, but it still worked really well for GB in the match yesterday against first Wakudama. And looks like we're gonna see a little keyhole opened up, and maybe a saber peek this into arcade, which is a very good blow. Like I said earlier, just cuts that map in half, and then
Hmm.
they get this storage right here. So it looks like both teams are gonna take that approach of trying to cut the map in half, which is what you usually want to do. But after a big after they committed a lot last round, I don't know if they'll be able to you know, continue using as much utility as they want to.
Yeah, the one major thing I'm concerned about is if they do go for that actual door charge. Again, it's a beautiful angle. If you have someone in storage watching this inside of arcade and this angle, that's almost the entire map stopped in terms of rotates for the defense besides teller doorway. So it's a really good idea. The problem with this, though, is you can't walk in through a door charge when it's on a shutter. So you have, technically speaking, only one entryway. So if you just have people watching in from both freezer and arcade relatively passively, it could be lights out for the offense, as they have really no proper way of entering the building without funneling themselves, especially when there are several mollies on the board for the defense and the auto shotgun in the hand of Roby. But it's an immediate entryway in by the offense. They've got 4 people stacked up inside of storage, but Drowsy's able to find a long
Oh
angle
boy.
with the Ingmar. Beautiful shots done there by him, and Roby is still playing quite comfortably inside a freezer. Drowsy just playing the cleanup crew, making another triple kill for the man. Roby gets in and gets hyper aggressive. Finally failed out by Doodler, but it's just far too late. It's a 1vx for Doodler, and although he's got a lot of time and a flashbang, is he going to find 4 separate kills in this round? Probably not. No matter how well Doodler is as a player, especially against a mop as well. And again, all these long angles and all of these funnels you have to deal with going into storage. And if we had just seen a door charge breach inside of fridges, that probably could have been easily countered, but I'll play devil's advocate here, Surfun. I did mention earlier that this round is probably going to be a loss because how challenging it is to actually push in through green door on storage without really any other breach, and we didn't see all that much breaching being done by the offense. So I guess they are better prepared for bank, but still, it's a round loss at the end of the day, so they're still going to be at a 5-round deficit.
Yeah. The only thing really Doodler can do is just try to ruin the economy. If I was him, I'd drop my MVGs and throw that flash, because you can hear them all green, right? You just and one of them went for do the back after opening shutters. That's Mop actually. I believe is that no, he gave Mop. Okay, my bad. That was Drazzy. I thought that was Digi peeking with Mop. My mistake. But I say throw that flash and try to get him green. There you go. That's one economy down. Try to take that Mop and that auto off the table for next round. Two really big power weapons. Oh boy, here comes that Mop auto. Auto swing. Here we go. Oh, he has to cock his pistol. He's not gonna be able to cock that, and they're gonna pick up that Mop again for next round. So they're able to save both power weapons here, but they had to drop an AK, which is a little help.
Better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, better than nothing.
Especially going into that. And clearly, we've got not nice, at least a little frustrated, about the outcome of that round. But again, if you only have to worry about a storage entryway, it doesn't take that much for the defense to tailor that one portion of the map as just a complete kill house. I mean, we saw close quarters potential and long range potential done there by Eclipse on that round. They could have easily had played for anti-flash, and in general, there just wasn't much utility actually thrown at either Roby or Trazi to deal with them. It was everyone just kind of walking in single file line and just expecting to win the gunfight, although they had no information and really not the best weaponry to deal with both an auto and an Ingmar at the exact same time. So it just didn't look good all that much on paper. And I guess I'll have to tie back into what I was saying earlier is at the very least, I would much rather have the door charge saved so I can breach entrance and go manager here than be able to breach into a freeze or that shutter play like you had mentioned earlier, Surfront, on the last map. So at least now, going in around 6, trying to stave off match point here for Not Nice. They have a little bit more utility to work with, but still, it's what you talked about earlier. There's better weaponry on the defensive side, and there's still a lot of the map that they can play with just to shut out the offense and guarantee match point pretty early in this best of 1 series.
Yeah, and I actually like the change of play from entrance here. I actually like that they're going to blow loans instead. I think blowing loans is actually a lot better for them. They're going to be able to get. They just need those 2 key flashes, one going down hallway and one going down to the teller side. And you don't even push the teller side. You go straight to hallway. You bring a frag for any barb that you may experience in accounting. You can maybe send somebody green to put some pressure from manager window into accounting. It opens up a nice lane of sight, line of sight. My mistake. And then you flash accounting, you get button control, and then that's maybe 2 kills if you work it right. And then you go back and you have that teammate, right, that's holding this lone's hallway behind the desk, and then you try to get in the vault. And this is locked down, so there's no rotate. All you have to do is worry about maybe somebody coming out of bathroom or somebody coming from security. You flash the ball and you get it. I like their switch of play here. I think this would be a lot better than blowing that lobby and running through that big choke point, which Eclipse was planning for. They have 2 mollies. Both of them, 2 of them. Wow, Eclipse is taking 4 mollies on. Wow. But 2 of the mollies are on the south side of the map. Drazzy is there playing with a wallbang for that vent, but he does have a molly. So let's see if they just W key. If Team Nice throw those flashes and W key, Drazzy's not going to be able to get a molly off. If he's not, will they get the kill? No. Drazzy's going to escape and run back into accounting. Team Nice is going to go into vent manager and he's going to go down. And then Viable, who's in, Biolep, who's in, he's going to go down to Digi from the mop shot. And only Caden is in. Dude's going to shoot some shots at Digi, and he's going to get him down to half. And Roby's going to swing on Caden plays, and Caden's not going to react, and being unannounced to Roby, silent walking in Ultra. Ultra goes in, and CBC, and he's able to get CBC, but right after CBC's going to in with a molly, and then and then Drazzy's going to swing with a knack and take out Duther with Saber. And then that's 6-0 for Eclipse.
Didn't expect it to... Yeah, didn't expect it to be a 6-0 this early in the day, but looks like we've got that fully taken care of. Again, we've talked about this a couple of times, Surfront. It's just the general timing and overextension, along with some minor misconstruction of team play. I'm not too sure why Baya moved past, like, just watching the cutoff angle. He was just running in to the defense past, like, the main hallway. I would have probably preferred him just sitting in the back of loans, maybe having a head glitch behind the desk and just sitting there, because at some point, if the defense is trying to stop you from getting the button and you kill everyone over near accounting, they're probably gonna have to either push up or play all the way back. Just having that safety of mind goes a long way, especially when you have to not only deal with anyone that's kind of playing near that back teller hallway or near bathroom, but also having to deal with people that might be trying to watch in through manager, trying to play directly in accounting, playing near main entrance as well. You don't want to try to multitask a lot in any game or just in general, because as humans, we're horrible at doing that. If you are all able to focus on one key task and that's it, then you have a lot less struggle to deal with on any round. So when you have to try to push in through both manager, loans, aggressively watch the flank or get active to work a kill, it's just not going to work out, especially when you don't have the timing put down correctly either, which has been kind of the whole storyline we've been tailoring for Team Nice. So match point, like we had mentioned, again, because just basic mistakes are being made and Eclipse are just simply able to punish them for that. But hey, we're on Kill House. A lot of weird stuff can happen on this tile set. So maybe we'll get a glimmer of hope for the side of Not Nice to at least get a round win on the board. And yeah, it looks like they're trying to full commit to at least go down with somewhat of a fight today, Surfront.
Yeah, they're going to commit all their utility and just say, we blow hallway. We got to get in and just commit everything. We got to go. I think this door charge should be placed maybe kitchen or this kitchen door or something. Mez's going to be playing this red door. He's going to kick it and immediately barb it. And I've said this in the past. If you kick that, if you kick a red door and barb it against an inexperienced team, they're going to crap their pants. And we're going to see them go, oh my god, what do we do? But Digi's going to be taken down from
Wow.
Doodler as he was going for that early mop shot. And now it's a 5v4, which is looking pretty good for Team Nice. We will say
Don't get to
that.
see that one every day.
Oh, but the
Just,
Robins!
oh
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, Caden's gonna go down. Do they have a frag grenade? I don't believe so.
Nope.
And now, after seeing one of their teammates go down, they're like, we can't do this. We have to run away. And here they go. They're gonna go all the way around to reception, most likely. And that's gonna be at least a good 10 seconds on the clock. And Roby probably gonna be like, oh, they're going reception because experienced player here. Ooh, they might actually blow club. I actually like this play too. It's a nice little adjustment, a good volley, but Eclipse is just gonna have people play bar side and go for wall bangs from stage in Glockers. So I don't know what Team Nice is gonna have to do here. They're gonna have to come up with something quick. With only a minute left on the clock, they're running out of time. They're gonna need at least 10 seconds. So 50 seconds basically is in the clock. Doodler is gonna wall bang. He's gonna hit somebody, I believe. Oh, okay, but King runs in. No, I'm lost. Roby kills Viable, and King goes in, and Roby's gonna take out Viable. I'm so lost.
Don't need to worry about it. It's 40 seconds to go, and both Doodler and King are incredibly low on HP, and they still have a lot of the map to clear out with very little time and get that defuse down. It's not looking good. There's a wall charge for King. There might be something to be played, but he gets immediately shut down by Hero, leaving only Doodler with about 10 HP to spare. 15 overall if you want to be specific, and a couple pieces of util with that saber, but he's got to worry about multiple angles, and yeah, it just was a round not meant to be, apparently, Surfront. And
yeah, unfortunate.
looks like we had that pretty well thought out by Eclipse. They were potentially expecting that heavy emphasis on Hall. They had someone playing Pillbox, although he got smoked by Doodler. That was a beautiful shot with the saber. But the wallbang capabilities with the barbed wire as well for the audio cue, that was a really simple yet nice play. And because we had overcompensation on regular hard destruction via the door and wall charges, no one thought it'd be a good idea to bring any grenades as they were putting too many eggs in one basket. So the barbed wire was a hard counter. They had to fully change up their play style, and it just didn't seem like Team Nice were all that comfortable or all that willing to do that until the damage had already been done. And I mean, the stats, they just speak for themselves. A lot of major inactivity. And at the end of the day, the worst issue that was had by Team Nice was bad positioning. And because of that, they got entry killed a lot and they just didn't do a lot of damage before being felled eventually by someone on the side of Eclipse. Whereas really everyone did their part on that side of the team, except for, I don't know, maybe like Med if you want to be that nitpicky about it. But he just was kind of in the background doing a lot of other things, not getting super active to go work those entry kills. Whereas your main entry player right now, of Drazi, 2-2, that's a pretty good stat line to say the least.
Yeah, I'll say Team Nice. You just need to scrim. Like you guys just need to work together more. It's just you guys just need to play due process and work together. And it's just you guys seem lost out there today, and that's okay for being a new team. Uh, welcome to the league, especially playing a team against like Eclipse, who has a lot of experienced players, and all of them pretty much 1,000 matches. It's tough. It's going to be tough, but that's all I can say. Is just you guys just even run casuals as a 5 stack. Just run casuals together. You just need to do something like that. But I believe we might go and spectate this next game, which will be Wasted Potential versus Eclipse. No, not Eclipse. What's that team called? Wasted Potential and Kickflip.
Oh, yeah. All
As that
right.
game is
Well,
underway right now, and it's currently 5-2.
yeah, we'll go hop in, see what's happening there. Maybe the same problems we had last time. Yeah, we're here. Oh man.
This game
The
seems a
round's
little
already
bit more
over.
competitive. Yeah, I think this
Not
game.
by much, but it is a little more competitive.
Well, Waves Potential is able to have 2 rounds already on the board, and it's now match point for kicking the Kickflip. So currently a 6-0. Zombie Bacon on a sliver of health. Wow. So I have no idea what the next map will be, but we'll see as we walk into it.
Yeah, we'll
So yeah,
See what kind of fun shenanigans we're gonna get into for potentially 1 round, and that will be it. But,
Wasted Potential does have a newt. I will point that out. Does have a newt.
they've got
And
the
they
super
have a
weapon.
Luno. They have a
Yeah.
Luno, and Jobu also kind of a solid player. So we'll see if they're able to clear it up here on this defense.
Wait,
And
Jobu? Have I heard that name
Jobu,
before?
he's been around a little bit, or she. I'm not too sure. Um, but we'll see if they're kind of able to clean it up here. But this castle being really huge, I wonder if um that means the this castle being really big for pretty much control the map, splitting it just like this, and really big line of sight onto bomb and holding out a rotate here. So the only really safe spot from castle is kind of ratting here in pit. That's really it. It's the only safe spot. So
Well, had a bit of a revelation. I guess Zig pulled some of his like semi-pro comp
oh
strings and managed
yes,
to get Jobu from Akron. That's hilarious.
yeah,
I
I
know
checked it
Jobu
out.
very well from the collegiate scene, so that is definitely a nice little icing on top of the cake. It just sucks that so far they're not doing all that hot against some of the veterans, aka Flogel and Zombie Bacon. Also Chrome Trigger as well. He's been around the block for quite some time, but
And they also have some
definitely,
older players like Voxel and Macius.
yeah, it must
So
have been like before my time then too. So that would probably
they're
explain it.
season 2 players, kind of.
Oh
Is what I
yeah,
would
no,
say.
yeah. So
Before my
that
time
makes
as well.
sense.
So
Fair enough.
yeah, last stream when we watched the Wasted Potential for Space Rangers game, which ended up tying, I was talking to Akazu about that and Jobu, and he was telling me that Jobu and some of the, I think they had Henny or something. He was saying that are from his siege team.
Yeah,
So really
Hennessy
good
goes
them to come play.
silly. He is he's a pretty good player. I'm wishing the best of luck to the Akron boys when they've got their game. Pretty soon, actually. They've got a game at like 4 p.m. for collegiate championships. Hopefully that goes well. Guess it's their warm-up today, but the warm-up does not seem to be going all that well as expected. At least Zig is able to find at least one working in from the bridge. It looks like Masier is not able to go and get that trade-off. So it seems to be that 3 versus 3. A bit of bloodshed happened from both the beach/base area along with jungle as well. But Castle still being
Oh boy.
contended with here by Chrome Trigger. He finds 3 on the round that I wasn't even able to keep track of, and he just rushes into Zig, and the fact he has so many different angles to worry about, I mean, he just gets shut down. And well, you know, that
Wow.
one round was fun.
A
Had a lot of
4K from Chrome
yeah,
Trigger.
had a fantastic time seeing Jobu play a game that isn't just R6. Good to see Moss and the boys all again, but seems to be another pretty quick matchup. 7-2 this time though, so I guess better than the 7-0 we just witnessed earlier.
A little bit better. I'd like to see those 2 rounds that Wasted Potential had to put on Kickflip. Oh, what a 4K from Chrome Trigger right there, just running in and just shooting it. Shoot mans. They just let
Yep.
him. Kickflip just kind of said, "Go get him, Chrome," and that's what he did. So yeah, another quick game, in and out. I'm assuming that's how it must have been. Most of those rounds was Chrome Trigger, just going and just you know eating them alive.
Seems about right. Unfortunate to not see my boys Moss and Jobu pop off, but it is what it is. Not that
Well, I'm
big of a
sure they had
deal.
their I'm sure they had their rounds where they were
Oh,
doing
for
good.
sure.
I believe Floggle said that they were hitting their shots. So
Oh yeah. I
that
could
just that was
imagine
just not
that.
their round. That was just not their round.
True, true. And it must have been a very close 7-2 as they say when they
Well,
don't win a lot of their rounds. But that
yeah.
is a good point to make. So,
Well, I mean, the
fair
rounds
enough.
could end with like like a 1v1, and like that
Yeah,
person that comes out
exactly.
with the round has a slither of health, and so as such, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like there was a round that we spectated in the previous game where I forget which one it was, but they were able to clutch a round and have no HP. They all died, if I'm mistaken. There is another game going on, which is Space Rangers versus. We are not sponsored by Red Bull. If I don't know if we all have time for that. Do we?
I mean, I could imagine I would we'd all have time. but I just, what do you call it? I have no idea who those people are.
Sorry, what'd you say, Kazu? Oh,
Ah,
okay, so
well, that's great news then. That means I get more time in my bed to go stave off this sickness. That's good. I gotta go and, head out, do some errands, and probably go lay in my bed miserably for, like, 5 hours as one does with the sickness, so
the
a lot of fun being
sickness.
back though, I will imagine. Not COVID or anything, but something that's been
Oh,
moving around through my family. I have no idea what it is, but my throat, uh, doesn't hurt, but it's groggy. That's just the best way to describe it. But in
bro.
terms of, describing the games that happened today, very fast, but rather enjoyable. Good to be back in the scene. It was a pleasure casting against the Easter Front. I know I, talked to you beforehand about casting, like, a long time ago, so I'm glad to see that you're still doing it. Um along with the rest of the community still doing quite well for themselves. But with all that being said, huge shout outs to ourselves, like we had mentioned, the chat for sticking around, having some laughs with us during the games happening. EK and Roach behind the scenes, both observing and producing. And with all that being said, hope you all have a great rest of your day and to stick around for some more due process action in the near future. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye bye.